in high school, at least I know my own high school experience, a lot of what you learn is very structured and very in the box, and actually when you get out into the real world you find out that life is anything but in the box. And this actually gets to show you some of the latest cutting edge technology. There's nothing wrong with learning the basics of biology and such, you need it, but this is a little more exciting and it shows you what the capabilities are.
I decided I'd like to do something interactive utilizing our respiratory care laboratories and actually have the students get some hands-on experience with some types of medical equipment that they might have an opportunity to use should they decide to work in a medical career like respiratory care.
This course basically gave me a tour around the hospital, and it brought it all to me. It brought me different surgeons. I got to talk to a transplant surgeon, to a cardiologist, all that. I think it's very interesting.
I've actually been involved in some of the other undergraduate and high school programs over the years that have existed on campus. And usually those were programs that started out with students coming into the laboratory, working on a project with not as much oversight about where things were going in terms of what we as faculty members think. It was just like, here's a student. So this is a very nice focused program that sits down and says, let's just tell you what we're doing. And yes, lecturing can be a tad on the boring side, people can fall asleep, but it's a very efficient way for a student who's motivated or who just wants to learn something to get some information and move on, one way or the other. So I think that's probably the most unique feature.
People come and get involved with research projects, but interestingly, most of them, they come and work with us, particularly at the high school level, and their main goal is to be a physician. And when we ask them, do you know of any other career apart from being a physician, because you are a biology major, and they just blank themselves out of this whole areas and say, oh, I just want to be a physician. But when they are exposed to these sort of areas like allied health, a clinical laboratory scientists, respiratory therapists, physical therapists, real bench science, and they think that this is more satisfying and interesting than be a physician. And some people, they actually take both. They think, yes, I want to be a physician, but this is more fun doing this sort of research, interacting with people, trying to solve problems at the bench level, and then be a physician too. And over these years, at least from the last year, many of the students actually, they changed their way of thinking and doing science.
Well, for me, before, when I was thinking if I want to do medicine, I thought I want to be either a neurologist or a neuroscientist or a neurosurgeon, because I just love neurology. I mean, that's just me. But coming to this program, now I think maybe I might not want to be just a physician. I know I want to help people, and it's just something I'd love to do. But I don't know, I'm really into theoretical work. So if I want to go work in a laboratory and do research regarding neurology, there's so many questions to be answered. And I mean, how does the brain actually think? You know, why are these neurons firing exactly the way they are? And why are the action potentials exactly the way they are? There's so much you can find out and try to twist around. And I think I might actually be strongly considering doing research in this field of neuroscience now, instead of just being a neurosurgeon or a neurologist.
I view our department, our responsibilities as an academic medical center to provide the stepping stone to enhance patient care. And if we will have one student who ultimately goes into translational research that affects the lives of 100,000, 1 million people, any effort we will have done here will have been extremely worthwhile. And so the commitment is really a global commitment, or a much broader commitment, in that I would like to see us creating programs that will enhance the number and the quality of people going into biomedical research.